Hello again from the forge. It's another rainy evening, and so going to take a little bit of time to work on another knife. We're not going to use a railroad spike tonight. Tonight we're going to use this piece of flat steel that I have to make a blade, and I've used it before. Don't really know what type of steel it is, to be honest with you, but I've used it to make some knives in the past, and the ones that I've made, they've held up fairly well. They don't get overly hard, kind of like the railroad spike, but for what I've been using them for so far, they've held a good edge, and I like the way they turned out. So let's see how things go tonight. So the knife we're going for is one of these. Don't really know the name of it. I'll do some research and tell you what the name is, but I really like the look of it. And probably gonna go for number 3 here. I like using a template. The first several that I did, I just started hammering on a knife and whatever it came out to be, that's what I worked with. But I kind of like having these templates to go by. It's a little bit different challenge to try to match the size and shape, and you get a good quality knife when you're done with it too. Well, I found where I left my reading glasses the last time, so hang on to those. Get a little bit in there to air it out. And then I'll try this without a glove. Hopefully don't get. Oof. Always scares me. All right, let's get our steel in the forge. Start working on the tip, work our way back. So I'm just going to start off here on the tip. Starting to get curve shape to the end. We'll get it hot again and work on some more. So in the design on our template, had a pretty long slope toward a sharp point on this one, so we want to keep bringing that back more. Oops, lost our tip. On that end, back in. So obviously one of the big benefits of working with this flat steel, we don't have to flatten it out the way we did the railroad spike. So as we already have a nice flat bar, we just need to start shaping. And that is looking pretty good for our sloped blade edge or the tip. We'll look at compared to the template and see how we're doing. Okay, so I feel like we're pretty good shape on that. Good shape on our shape. So we'll start working on that full blade, getting that slope down to a tip, and then we'll start working on the handle. So just a couple minutes on the grinder, and I'm real pleased with our final shape, what our knife's gonna look like. It fits me good. Handle could have been a little longer, but I like the way it feels. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the quench, see how that turns out on the hardness. So the purpose of the quench is to harden the blade by bringing the blade up to a point to where molecules are kind of fluid in the blade, and then quickly cooling it down makes for a very hard blade. The last several I've done, I've used the oil, and they've done so-so. So I want to see the difference when we quench this one in water. So that looks like a good temperature. A little bit more both sides, make sure we don't get one side hotter than the other. There we go. best way to test the hardness of the blade is with a file. So the file is a good hardened steel. And so here's the piece that I had cut off the end of the tang. So it didn't get any hardening. We'll just do a comparison. So you can see that one's relatively soft. The file's biting into that pretty easy. I have not tested this one yet. Let's just see a comparison. So better. Still not the hardest steel out there, but definitely better than than that. Well, on a little closer inspection of the blade, you can see that I'm not real straight there from the blade back to the tang. I've got a pretty good little bend. I'm going to say that must have happened in the quenching process, because surely I would not forge a crooked blade, but I probably forged a crooked blade. Oops. Let's try that again without the mask. But got the warp out of it. Got it ground down. Most of my hammer marks out of it. I kind of like it that way. You can tell it's a handmade knife at that point. But got a pretty good sharp edge on it. I like it. And it's looking good. I think we are ready for a handle. So I'm going to go with another two-piece construction on the handle. I like the way that last one turned out. But this time I'm going to use something I have not tried yet, and that's some micarta that we had purchased. And I think that's going to make a really, really pretty handle. So let's. Okay, so I have my scales glued up and shaped, ready to go on. But now I need to decide which pins I'm going to use. I think I'm going to go with the copper. There's a little bit of a copper tint in those scales, and I think that'll look good. I hope I'm right. So in this knife, I'm going to use 6 different pins. We'll cut 6 pins, all about the same length. I hope that doesn't go flying. It does a little bit. Now I'm going to just round off the edges a little bit on these pins so that they go through better. Now my next step is to drill holes in my handle scales. I have not tried drilling through this micarta yet, so hopefully it goes well. I would hate to ruin it. So this is a 5-minute epoxy. You want to mix equal parts somewhere there around about. Get it mixed up good. First I'm going to apply it good all around the handle area. And we'll start with this backing material that I made. I'll apply to the back of that. Put on our knife scales. There we went. Abruptly. All right, so the scales are on, glued, clamps are on. So now we'll find something else to do while we let it dry. Okay, so scales have glued on tightly. So I think I've gone ahead and ground down the pins, and I think we're ready to start forming our handle onto the grinder. Okay, so we have a finished product that I am very, very pleased with. Everything worked out um, very well. My copper pins turned out good. The red rubber strip that I put on the handle, that turned out looking really good. It's not perfect. I have a couple things here. I have a copper piece that I got, one of my copper pins, I got too hot when I ground it down and it melted out. And I haven't been able to get that out. But all in all, a good looking little knife.